Don't tell the Jacksonville Jaguars they can't get 3 turnovers every week, because if you do, they'll get 4. We're going to break down week 4 in the NFL today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys, me and dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much.
Joe, happy Victory Monday to those who are celebrating. There's what? 2, 3, so there's 13 teams celebrating Victory Monday today. Is that accurate?
Just coming in hot with some math, some unnecessary math right at the start.
Unnecessary math. But, you know, we had some fun games. We had some not fun games. We're going to try our best to talk about all of them that were played yesterday in some capacity. And Joe explicitly requested to start with Duval.
Right. They're pushing the boundaries of football, obviously.
Almost throwing hands with Robert Saleh after the game. Jack's got a little edge to him, man.
You got some coaches right now that are showing some edge, whether it's that or Brian Callahan or Ben Johnson. But
Ben Johnson picking on a sideline reporter asking an innocent question at halftime.
Yeah, got some hotheads out there coaching these football teams, Kyle Crabbs. But Jaguars are 3-1, man, and they just keep getting takeaways. 3 in each of their first 3 games, then they get 4 against the Niners on the road to win 26-21. Devin Lloyd, he had a couple of interceptions.
Stud.
And, dude, this team had 9 takeaways last year for the season. 9. They have 13?
Run that by me again. The Jaguars have 4 more turnovers through 4 games than they had all year last year. Yes, that is a factual statement. That's correct. That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's not that much different in terms of defensive personnel either. You get what you emphasize, but how about the start for Anthony Campanile here as a defensive coordinator for the Jaguars, man?
Yeah. They are
you've been on that guy for a while, by the way.
Yeah, it stood out watching the game, just the fundamentals of attacking the football. I thought were prominent, even on plays in which they weren't forcing loose balls. It was just the way that they attacked the football and what I like about the group that they have in Jacksonville is they've got powerful but explosive and dynamic pair of edge guys. And it's that second level, right? We had concerns about the safety room. We said the safety room might be one of the most concerning safety rooms in football. But when you got the linebackers that they have to carry some of that weight and stress and strain, those guys are hunting right now. And it's impressive. And, you know, just the aggressive demeanor of the entire defense, and this is the 3rd consecutive game that they've played in. Look, they played Houston and Cincinnati the 2 before this, so I understand like we're not writing love letters about those offensive lines, but they're not giving up yards on the ground. They're turning the ball over. They're being aggressive, and it is bearing a lot of fruit for Jacksonville. I mean, they're 5th in red zone defense as well. They're running the ball well offensively, and that's the Liam Cohen formula. That's always kind of been the Liam Cohen formula. And the fact that they've got somebody on the other side, and Anthony Campanile, who's kind of got this team rolling the way that they do, man, they're going to be a problem. I think, you know, the ceiling is a question. They got the Chiefs and Seahawks and Rams before their week 8 bye. So we're going to find out real quick about this Jacksonville team.
All at home, all home games.
But you look down the stretch, I see some winnable games down the stretch, you know, and if if they're at 6 wins by week 10 or week 11, I think you're looking at a double-digit win team here and a chance to contend to win this division, depending on what the Colts do.
Correction, the Rams game's international. It's identified as a home game, but Chiefs and
Home,
Seahawks
air quotes,
home, and then
home.
the Rams, they'll play that game at a neutral site.
That's home for Jacksonville.
Yeah, might as well be, right? They're used to the trip.
It's old hat for them.
The AFC South is fascinating. I mean, obviously the Texans wind up smoking the Titans, and boy, they took Tyler Rowland's soul, Kyle. I'm not sure if you caught Locked On Titans this morning. Right?
Is that your first listen? First listen is Tyler Rowland every
Mondays. And he went from the madman to the sad man real quick. Boy.
Oh, no. He's got to brand that as a shirt. He's got to put that on a shirt.
Well, it took his soul. But point being that, the Texans get the win, but it feels like, you're wondering how good this division is, and I still think we have a lot to learn, but this could be a fun race between the Colts and the Jaguars here as maybe the unexpected race in the South as it's shaping up here early.
Yeah, Houston obviously has a long way to dig themselves out of their hole with their offensive struggles early, but nothing fixes your ailments quite like playing the Titans, right? And that whole operation's got a dead man walking, very apparent with Brian Callahan. It feels like an inevitability. And I think the question is not if you should make a change, but when is the right time to make a change. If they did it today, I wouldn't bat an eye.
Well, the challenge, and of course, listening to Tyler, he's like, who's the coach that you can't wait to see on your staff? That's going to take, you
don't have the answer on your staff, but
no,
Bill Callahan's done it. I would just
fire the son and put his dad in place. Like, can you do that?
Hard business, man.
I know it's tough though.
That's what, every once in a while, that whole family affair, nepotism, attachment, windfall that comes off the back of it. Sometimes you might just have to be the interim when your son gets fired from the head coaching job.
They have Bill Callahan, Mike McCoy as well on this staff. John Fossil. John Fossil might be the one you just do.
Yeah, we got options. Just pick one. But
not Brian Callahan. This guy's going to throw hands if he gets another press conference, right?
I thought he was ready to go after Paul.
Poor Paul, man. Whatever's going on with that guy. I thought he asked a reasonably good question. You think your team's resilient? Like, it's like I know what you're doing.
I get a sense that's been like the buzz word, right? This has been the Dolphins the last 2 years. Has been technique and fundamentals, and resilient and whatever it was for Tennessee. I appreciate Cam Ward keeping that 100% though.
Boy, yeah.
You saw his quote after the game. And when a team's in a rut like Tennessee is, and you got a young guy that comes in there and you hope is a franchise guy and can set the temperature, I would much rather have that, a non-PR answer where he said, we're going to keep it a buck. We're family-friendly show. Rear end, expletive is what he said. As compared to kind of like the meek or feeble, we just got to keep chopping. Let's establish that this is unequivocally not okay. And here's how not okay I am with it, that I'm going to get in trouble with the PR team after my press conference because I said what I said.
You get the sense that Cam is doing what he needs to do to try to be successful, right? It's about obviously his own growth, but things around him. But I've really been impressed with kind of his temperament at every step since joining Tennessee. So a lot to play out there. A lot more to get to here today. On the other side of it, we'll talk about this Rams dub, giving the Colts their first loss of the season, 2-2 Atwell. We'll get into it here next, folks. Be sure to stick with us. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Every day we make decisions, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley's rushing touchdowns, and you're in the game. I love how quick it is. You can make your lineup in under a minute, and this new injury reboot feature is incredible. If your player leaves early and doesn't return, it's not going to count against you. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 on lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 on lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Guys, you probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Go Long. That's exactly where Rugiet Go Long comes in. It's going to give you confidence. It's not just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for your confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in 1 dual-action formula, and the effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. You just connect online with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment's going to ship discreetly right to your door. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to rugiet.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL for 15% off your first order. That's Rugiet, rugiet.com, promo code LOCKEDONNFL. Make sure to use our promo code so that they know we sent you.
So you're on the break, reading my timeline. Post from last night from John Machota, who is the Athletics Cowboys reporter. And it's a photo of Jerry with a bunch of microphones in front of his face. Did you see the post-game comment he had about Micah?
That Dak was indispensable and Micah wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this game. I know we're going to start with the Rams, but he just keeps going. Right. It's now become the ego of proving I was right? Yeah. We were right picking the Rams to beat the Colts. We're not going to be Jerry's about it and have an ego about it, but we did pick the Colts to fall, and the Colts had them. You know, the Colts kind of felt like it was the kind of game that they wanted to play. They were up 20-13, and then the Rams scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The second of which is in the final 2 minutes, an 88-yard touchdown catch and run by Tutu Atwell, where Cam Bynum, who's talking all that smack about SoFi and the fake crowd noise, can't run down Tutu in the open field.
Not many people can, right?
You see what Quentin Lake said after the game?
No, I didn't see that one.
He said, fans sounded pretty loud to me.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Can we get some conference realignment to get these two teams to play every year?
That stuff's fun, right? That stuff's fun.
Yes, it is. Especially in September when, it's early season. There's a lot of stuff. Let's give these games a little extra edge. Like Robert Saleh and Liam Cohen or Cam Bynum versus Quentin Lake.
Were you watching that live and thinking to yourself, man, I think Tutu should maybe go down and let's kick this extra point, or this short field goal. But then the Rams lost last week on 2 blocked field goals. I'm like, no, go ahead and go in there. We'll take our chances on defense with Daniel Jones.
And sure enough, they Daniel threw the second interception there. The offense had not had a turnover in the first 3 games. They had 3 against the Rams in this contest. They could not run the ball. And that was the big matchup that we talked about that we were really interested in was, the Colts had 137 plus rushing yards in each of their first 3 games. They were over 150 in the first 2, and that included against the Broncos. Rams, smaller defensive front. How do they hold up? Colts played the majority of this game from in front and still had 85 team rushing yards. I think that's what stands out to me about this game.
They held the Eagles 86 last week. Maybe I need to stop being concerned about the Rams' run defense. It's telling me that it's just fine. I mean, they got some tests coming up against Baltimore and Jacksonville. Puna, yeah. I mean, he's good everywhere except for Buffalo. Test? I don't know. We'll get to Baltimore. I don't know who's on their team anymore. It's been a ton of attrition for them early on, but I think the Rams are just continuing to answer any question that I have about that ability that they have to defend the run. I mean, they bottled up John Taylor and Saquon Barkley in back-to-back weeks. And so they obviously some clutch elements to their operation. Puka is just, historic production through 4 games.
He is on a pace to shatter some records. It's a shame you won't catch Xavier Howard playing corner every week.
No,
but it doesn't. But it doesn't matter with Puka.
No,
because the production he had against Philadelphia, he had 11 for 112 against Philly. He had 10 for 130 against the Texans and their corner situation. Holy smokes! Thank goodness We only had 8 for 91 against the Titans.
Stay healthy, dude. Stay healthy, and you can rewrite record books. I mean, he's kind of told us that. It's just a matter of staying healthy. When he's available, that guy's unbelievable. Great, and a great spot for him with McVay, and then Stafford is that type of quarterback that will target the same receiver 15 to 20 times a game, and no questions asked.
Well, case in point, 11, 9, 15, and 15 are the targets for Puka through 4 games.
Or you mean those are the
Puka Nacua has half as many targets through 4 games as he had all year last year. Now he missed 6 games. He only played in 11.
Jeez.
But regardless, he has 50 targets through 4 games.
It's a good operation. That NFC West, I mean, obviously the 49ers take the L, but we got, is it 3-3-1 teams, and then the Cardinals are 2-2?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of shaping up. It's early, but obviously kind of what we thought. It's going to be a good race.
Do you want to check a few boxes here, formalities-wise?
Check them. Let's check them.
Keep pounding? Keep getting pounded, right?
I think they stopped pounding, right? Yeah.
Well, it's just who's doing the pounding. The Patriots did the pounding yesterday.
They did. 2 Marcus Jones, right, with a touchdown. They had another non-offensive touchdown.
You see Tepper after the game?
I
the
did.
Video of Tepper walking through in
Was he mad?
Oh yeah. It's tough. I mean, it's a bunch of new on defense. They threw all the money at it, but it's still new. That doesn't help you feel any better when you're playing a team that's got a new offensive coordinator and a whole bunch of new in themselves in New England. But Drake May's playing with confidence, certainly trending in the right direction. I mean, what is it? It was some arbitrary combination of like under a certain age, above a certain completion percentage, above a certain yards, and a certain and multiple touchdown passes, and he's done it 3 straight weeks.
Yeah,
and he's one of like a very select few quarterbacks that have had that level of consistent production across 3 weeks. So he's playing well.
Yeah,
Bryce is not. Right, like it just continues to look more and more like the second half of last year version of Bryce Young that we saw was an aberration, and that the player that he'd been his rookie season in the first half of last year, he's now been that for another quarter of the next season in year 3.
I think Bryce Young's going to take a really special remainder of team for you to be able to consistently win, and I think that's not only a really outstanding defense, but really outstanding skill players where he can be a point guard, right? That's what you have to have him do. You have to have him be a facilitator. And right now it's just a bunch of young guys around him and banged up offensive line and a bad defense. So I think there's 2 different conversations. It's okay, can we get it up in terms of the talent around Bryce Young to allow him to be that type of quarterback, but also do we want to live in a world with that big of a limitation as our starting quarterback, which is unacceptable for a player that was drafted number 1, and not only drafted number 1, but they gave up the whole world to get there.
That's the 2. Now, Carolina's conversation for getting to that pick is a little different, but it's the same conversation that existed and has existed with Tua Tagovailoa, right? And Tua had the special cast put around him. Now, I think Tua is a better quarterback than Bryce Young.
Oh, it's not close. Yeah.
Well, that's not a popular opinion right now.
Well, I'm telling you comfortably, I believe that Tua is a much better quarterback than Bryce Young.
But I would say the things Bryce has physically to his advantage is that he's a quicker twitch player, and he's probably got a stronger arm, especially with what Tua's arm strength has looked like this year. I'd say those are the 2 things that Bryce has. But as far as like processing and anticipation and accuracy, I think Tua takes all those things. But there's a bigger picture conversation, I think, to be had about the scouting elements of the draft and picking a quarterback and what those 2 guys were and what they had around them and what you're asking them to be and what you have to have in place. And I think where that does get a little interesting is one of the top quarterbacks in this year's class, not to turn this into a draft conversation, Garrett Nussmeier is listed at 6'1", 205. Comfortably has the best tape, doesn't have the best arm, doesn't have the athleticism, but he's the son of an NFL offensive coordinator. He's got great control of the offensive line there at LSU, and that's a conversation we're probably going to have to have some extensive conversations about based off of what we've seen other players at these blue blood programs that don't have the high-end tools, what they need around them to succeed.
Yeah. I already feel like I know where I'm going to be on that conversation. I'm excited. The Patriots, they cleaned up a ton of their issues from the week before against Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And I think it sets up for a really good Sunday night game this coming week, the Patriots in Buffalo. And, I'm interested to see how the Bills defense goes up against Drake May, who, obviously I think is physically gifted and has some mobility and he's efficient in the passing game. I think there could be some stress there for Buffalo with some of what they put on film defensively, despite another, double-digit win over the Saints this past week. But I think that'll be a nice test for both teams and kind of get a feel for where they're at.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, the Ravens. My goodness. Bad start to the year. We'll get into that and a whole lot more. Folks, be sure to stick with us. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5-Hour Energy. Shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. What I love most about 5-Hour Energy is how portable they are. You get a big taste, tiny shot, and you can take it anywhere that you need to get that boost whenever you need it. I've been eyeing the new limited time cranberry lime flavor. It looks like the perfect one to try next. And honestly, I just love how fast it kicks in and that it's sugar-free, so I don't have to worry about crashing later on. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in-store and online at www.5hourenergy.com or on Amazon today. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you do not want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and you're going to get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love FanDuel and how it gives me so many different ways to play. I've built parlays, I've tried player props, and even followed the live lines during the game. It just makes watching football even more exciting when you got a little something riding on the action. I'm in on Garrett Wilson tonight, over 5.5 catches. So that'll make the game tonight even more exciting for me. So whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started.
It wasn't just that Baltimore lost. This is how they lost, right?
Yeah, and what they lost, potentially.
Everybody.
Right, like who's left, man?
So Lamar had a hamstring, left late third quarter, did not return to the game. Nate Wiggins taken off. Ronnie Stanley, Marlon Humphrey. Matabweek went on IR before the game started. Broderick Washington went on IR before the game started. Travis Jones was out.
Van Noy was out, right?
Kyle Van Noy was out.
Yikes, right? I mean, geez.
And we're getting a bunch of short yardage situations without Derrick Henry on the field. I thought Tony Romo was right to call out and I get Derrick's had some fumble stuff and maybe that influenced what packages you're in or out on. But it's with a player like that, doesn't it feel like you're doing yourself a disservice to say, hey, it's 3rd and 1. Derrick, go stand on the sideline. We're going to put Justice Hill in again and again and again.
Yeah, I think two things can be true with Derrick Henry. First of all, that there has been issues. It's not just the fumbles. I've been through it. He's got a very high stuff rate, and he's not forcing missed tackles like he normally does.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also Derrick Henry. And he also had like nearly 2,000 rushing yards last year, and you just signed him to a contract extension. Like, he's your guy. There's a greater sample size of Derrick Henry that tells you who he is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ride that. I think they have to ride that. And I think that there is some merit to more Justice Hill, because I think whenever he gets sprinkled in, he's effective. And even Keaton Mitchell, who will look good in the preseason, but it's still Derrick freaking Henry, man. And
John Harbaugh said this week, we just don't have a spot right now for Keaton Mitchell because it's been Rasheen Ali because he's
the kick return
special teams guy. Yeah. Yeah. That's my exact reaction as well. So now Baltimore, we had a stat earlier. What was the historic stat that we gave out? I don't remember, but I have a historic stat for the Baltimore Ravens and their defense. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
The Baltimore Ravens, through the first 4 games of 2025 have allowed 16 touchdowns on defense.
Boy.
Do you know how many touchdowns the 2000 Ravens allowed in 20 games?
I don't know. I'm guessing it's not a lot.
17.
Jeez.
So this year's Ravens have allowed 1 less touchdown than the 2000s Ravens did from week 1 through the Super Bowl.
Peter Bullware ain't walking through those doors, man.
Ray Lewis and Ed Reed are not on speed dial. And the thing about Baltimore, too, is we just got done talking about how important their week 3 matchup or the Detroit matchup was because of how hard this schedule was going to get. It's not getting any easier, right? They have the next 2 weeks. They have the Texans. Okay, maybe that's a little easier versus what it's been. And then you got the Rams the next 2 weeks at 1-3.
Yeah. It's not good. It's tough. It's a tough outlook for a team that everybody thought was loaded, and they are, but they're missing players, like too many good ones. And their defense has been a disaster.
They're 31st in yards allowed. They're averaging over 400 yards per game allowed.
And that includes the Cleveland game baked in there.
They are 32nd in points scored. They are 31st in yards allowed passing the ball. They are 24th in yards per rush. They are 28th in yards per drive. They are 24th in third down defense. They have given up 9 of 11 fourth down attempts to opposing offenses. They're 28th in red zone defense. Like, you go down the list. It is everything. And now they're hurt, and now Lamar's hurt, or even if Lamar can play, if this hamstring ends up being anything at all, he's getting evaluated today. He's much more equipped to play as a quarterback in the pocket now than what he was his first few years in the league. But part of what makes him special is the stuff that he's still able to do. Although I would argue that feels exponentially less impactful this year than what he's getting sacked on 13.5% of his dropbacks.
Yeah, I've typically seen Lamar get out of a lot more pressure than
what it's been this year as a whole. Yeah,
that Lions game was like, oh, really? Look, Lamar always gets out of that. So I feel like we're glossing over the fact that the Chiefs scored 37 points and Mahomes threw 4 touchdowns and they're 2-2. Is it because it's that Baltimore team and the Chiefs really still can't run the ball and they get Worthy back? That seems like a useful piece to their offense, but
well, we'll find out about the Chiefs as well. They're at Jacksonville and then Detroit the next.
That's a Sunday night game against Jacksonville. That's low key one I'm really excited about.
Oh, that's Monday night in Jacksonville, and then Sunday night with Detroit. So they're in prime time the next 2, and they're in prime time 3 the next 4. They have Washington at home in week 8 on Monday.
All right, and then the Bills, and Broncos, and Colts. Boy, okay, yeah, like you said, we're gonna find out.
So yeah, pretty neutral right now, all things considered. But it's the Baltimore and being 1-3 and how they're 1-3 that I think is the big talking point. Giants, Jackson Dart,
hat tip,
showed
some toughness, couple Herbert picks there. That was got him in trouble.
Abdul Carter was a monster in this game.
Was,
and now both tackles for the Chargers. Was Joe Alt with I think it's reported as a high ankle sprain.
It's by 4 weeks?
Big guy like that too, right? Like that can be tough. Turns out the Lions were not lying when they were talking about their rush offense versus the Browns' rush defense. They said we don't think they've seen one like ours. They didn't torch them like they did Baltimore, but they had more success on the ground than anybody else has against the Browns.
Good to see Aiden Hutchinson out there making plays, forcing fumbles, looking like he's back to himself, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown, another huge game. We're at the blitz portion of the show
so
here.
You mentioned the Bills, but you want to give me like your 30-second elevator?
James Cook, man. James Cook, dude. He's on pace for like 375 touches. And he's producing 3 more touchdowns from Josh Allen, big interception from Cole Bishop. But the Saints obviously showed some fight there.
My advice to Vikings fans would be to follow the opposing quarterback's advice from Sunday, which is RELAX. They were getting on Kevin O'Connell.
Well, Wentz went pumpkin mode there when
He
the
did.
game, you know what I mean? Like, what do you expect?
He
He's
did.
been on the team for a month.
He did. That
Oh,
Minnesota
boy.
team's a little banged up with Ryan Kelly with getting evaluated for concussion and obviously Aaron Jones and the starting quarterback.
Brian
You're
O'Neill
just
went down. They didn't
you're
have
just
Donovan
trying to
Jackson.
survive and figure it out right now, right?
Yeah.
Just keep your head above water and let it stabilize a little bit.
Yeah.
Philly with kind of the inverse of the game that they played last week where they got on top of Tampa early and then Tampa nearly chased them down. The strategic safety at the end, they copied that from, I forget which college game it was, but that the Indiana, I think.
Yeah.
And like that ruined like the spread of the game. Now that didn't happen with the Philly game, but
they did that last week where they ruined the spread. So
we had all worried about AJ Brown's headspace. He's back on social media. He had 2 catches for 7 yards.
This is just part of the Eagles' arc, their yearly arc. You get concerned about AJ Brown. You wonder if they have enough DBs. Jalen Hurts, like, can he still play quarterback? And then they just win. So I think this is a very normal Eagles season that's happening right before us.
I will say the wrinkles off the tush push now are not going to be fun to account for opposing coaches.
No,
because they had like 3 wrinkles in that game of
Well, the first wrinkle was we're going to full start our guards, and they won't call it. And then they're like, okay, since that's not going to happen.
Now we're going to underhand shovel it out of quads. And then now we're going to do like old single wing Sally style triple option, get the ball out on the perimeter for an explosive run because everybody's in the box. So I do think that is a fun development. If we're going to keep talking about this play, let's be it for a reason other than like the legality of the alignment and the guys getting off the ball.
Sure.
So huge win for Philly. They and Buffalo are the 2 remaining undefeated teams, both at 4-0.
That feels like a short list that compared to normal, right? Like
there's been some because obviously like I do like the novelty post every year.
Yeah, you got to do your thing.
Yeah. Right. There's been some where you get to like week 10, but there's been a few as of late where like you're in like week 6 and the last team goes down.
Over with.
Like, all right, thank goodness. Like I don't gotta sit here and keep this on my content back burner for another month.
Well, in all honesty, the Bills surely could have lost in week 1, and I think you could look at the Eagles and maybe find a couple losses. So
yeah,
it's some vulnerability across the league here early on.
Chicago. Another special game-winning play.
Yeah, Geno Smith was horrible. It's nice to see Ashton Genty get going. He fumbled in the game, but he can't throw 3 picks.
And Geno's kind of played like that a lot this year. I think that's the concern, especially getting reunited with Pete, right? Is there's an expectation we know what we're getting.
Yeah, giving away the football can't be part of the Ravens, or excuse me, the Raiders.
The Ravens
script.
too, but the Raiders
7 interceptions in 4 games. Can't do it.
Packers Cowboys, last one.
Unsatisfying. Cowboys show some fight. I mean, and for all the love that the Packers defense had, some warts in that game.
That's why you play them all, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they with backup offensive linemen found some good momentum running the ball, and Dak's playing at a really high level right now.
Yeah, dude, he's playing so well.
He's really dialed in, and
he deserves a better fate than 1-2-1.
I think so. Yeah. We didn't mention the Commanders and Falcons. Just the Falcons are that team. We'll never get them right. We think we know them, and then they do the opposite every time we reside. We think we know them, but we got to get out of here. Kyle Crabbs, Joe Marino. We appreciate you guys always checking out Locked On NFL Scouting. We'll talk to you all again tomorrow.